Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. Today on this particular Cricket Happening show, it's going to be the Sri Lanka versus South Africa, where the third day's play. One was probably thinking that this match might also go the first test way, but I thought some stern resistance from the South African batsmen against the Sri Lankan spinners saved the day for them, as Sri Lanka finished. In fact. It was, I'm just going to give you the scorecard right now, and it was a very good effort, I thought, by the South African batsmen. For the first time, they went on to put their highest score in the series, as they were placed at 139 for 5 on the third day of the second test match against South Africa, against Sri Lanka. And I'm going to talk you through that, and definitely we will come to that. And as far as the fifth ODI between Pakistan and Zimbabwe was concerned, again a foregone conclusion. Yes, Pakistan cleans up Zimbabwe 5-0, but the interest was whether Fakhar Zaman can become the fastest player to 1,000 runs in one-day internationals, beating the record of other 5 players like Vivian Richards, Jonathan Trott, Babar Azam of Pakistan himself, and Quinton de Kock, and finally, and Jonathan Trott and Kevin Peterson of England as well, the former players. And yes, Fakhar Zaman definitely did that, as Fakhar Zaman made 85, a sort of a very uncharacteristic 85 from Fakhar Zaman. Looking at the way he has been playing for in this last matches, which has enabled him to get to that coveted mark of 1,000 runs. But nevertheless, hats off to Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman now holds the world record for the fastest 1,000 runs in one-day internationals. Take a bow, Fakhar Zaman. Well done, Fakhar Zaman. And well, as I said, he has made it in 8. There are 5 people who have taken 21 innings to score the fastest 1,000 runs in one-day internationals. And here comes this boy from Pakistan, Fakhar Zaman, who made waves during the World Cup, announcing his arrival. And this man, let me tell you, is going to become one of the great players for Pakistan for sure, as Pakistan beat Zimbabwe hollow in this series 5-0, as Pakistan won the final one-day international by 131 runs, and Fakhar Zaman went on to become the fastest player to 1,000 runs in one-day internationals, shattering the records held by 5 other players in international cricket, as Fakhar Zaman took only 18 innings to do so, whereas the other 5 players had taken 21 matches to do so. Well, so I will be talking about that particular match as well. And right now I will also give you a live cricket update right now, which is coming in from the Bangladesh tour of the West Indies. Today is the first ODI which is playing at the Providence Stadium right now underway, where Bangladesh definitely didn't start off well, losing Anamul Haq for not to the bowling of Holder. But right now, as I'm talking to you, Bangladesh are putting a nice rear guard effort with 2 of their experienced batsmen in the middle, and Shakib Al Hasan has definitely, in fact, I thought it was a very wonderful option, which was done by Mashraf Murtaza, the Bangladesh ODI captain, telling Shakib Al Hasan to go 1 drop, and that is really proving to be very useful. As I am talking to you, Shakib Al Hasan is not out on 77 of 92 balls with 6 fours. Tamim Iqbal 74 out of 115, 7 fours and 1 6, and they have taken this Bangladesh total to 156 for 1 in the 35th over, and I'm sure the fireworks will be beginning now with 9 wickets in hand for Bangladesh. Well, so I'll come back to that later. We'll revisit that once I complete the report, and then just before I go, I will give you a live cricket update on the Bangladesh versus West Indies. But let's first go on to the South Africa versus Sri Lanka. Today was the third day's play, and well, as expected, the South Africans declaring the innings closed, at 275 for 5. Well, I have to tell you also some breaking news here. This is not good news. One does not know what is the reason, but I'm told that it has just come in, just broken through right now, and I have to say that it is not good news for Danushka Gunatilaka, the opening batsman who has scored back-to-back half centuries in this particular test match, but unfortunately he has been suspended from all forms of cricket by the Sri Lankan Cricket Board. One definitely doesn't know what are the real reasons. One is told that he has probably violated the code of conduct, but as I'm speaking, as I said, it's very, very sad. Gunatilaka had got his maiden test century, had made his debut as well. And Gunatilaka has been suspended by the Sri Lankan Cricket Board from all forms of cricket for until further notice, and which is very, very sad after looking at the way he played in this particular test match. Anyways, so cricket has to go on. Karunaratne went on to make 85 with 12 boundaries before being a victim of the bowling of Lungi Gedi. But the good thing for Sri Lanka was that Angelo Matthews, the former captain, really hit some good form, played some beautiful shots off the back foot, and continued to entertain the crowd as he carved 71 runs with 7 fours. It was good to see Angelo Matthews coming into form on his comeback after the injury, which was very good to see. Roshan Silva got a sort of a real shaky with some short deliveries being hurled at him. He was tested severely, but he stood the test well with an unbeaten 32 with 2 boundaries. Dikwala was not out on 7 as Sri Lanka applied the declaration at 275 for 5, thus setting the South Africans 490 runs to win the second test match. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned, Keshav Maharaj, as I was telling you, that one was probably thinking that Keshav Maharaj will go ahead and break the all-time record of the South African Makhaya Ntini, but unfortunately that was not the case. He finished up with 40 overs, 4 minutes, 154 runs and 3 wickets. So in all he picked up 12 wickets. So he failed to reach the record, and Makhaya Ntini of South Africa will be happy that he's still holding the record. And Lungi Gedi, 9 overs, 5 minutes, 9 runs, 1 wicket were the wicket takers today. Now, as far as South Africa were concerned, they were given a target of 490 runs. Dean Elgar and Aidan Markram walked in to open the innings, but again, their problems with the spinners once again continued. And once again, we saw that Suranga Lakmal did not get himself on. It was again the 3 spinners who were the crease, but it was a much better effort than one thought from the South Africans. As Aidan Markram was given out, it was a straighter one on the off stump from Rangana Herath. He actually shuffled across to actually sweep the delivery, and he was gone. He was hit on the back pad, and that was the end of Aidan Markram. LBW ball hit out for 14 with 3 boundaries. Dean Elgar had his moments against Dilruwan Pereira. Dilruwan Pereira was celebrating his birthday today, but I have to say his birthday was not very good for him, because he dropped a couple of chances of Elgar. He bowled a few no balls at Elgar when he picked up his wicket, and then finally it was Dilruwan Pereira who got the better of Elgar. Elgar made 37, not a very convincing 37, but nevertheless South Africa will take it. He made 37, he was trying to sweep Pereira, and he was out LBW. 37 with 4 boundaries. So that made it 80 for 2. Hashim Amla continued his dismal form in the year 2018 as Rangana Herath clean bowled Hashim Amla. It was a beautiful ball from Rangana Herath, I could say, the real cracker stuff, because there was a nice drift from Rangana Herath from the off onto the middle stump, and Amla was forced to go onto the back foot. The ball broke away, hit the outside edge, and went on to hit the off stump. Amla gone, ball hit out for 6 with 1 boundary. Du Plessis could not last long. It was a turn for Dhananjaya to get amongst the wickets column today, as he caught Matthews bowled Dhananjaya for 7 with 1 boundary, and Keshav Maharaj, the night watchman who was sent, did not help matters, as he was eligible bowled Dhananjaya for Nat, and it was only thanks to Teenage De Bruyne, who initially tried to go for the sweep shot. He had his struggles against the sweep shot. He was beaten quite a couple of times, but then he got over it pretty quickly, and then carved out a very good knock for, under the circumstances, for South Africa to take the match into the 4th day, as Teenage De Bruyne suddenly started showing some confidence against the Lankan spinners by sweeping them very well, as Dinesh De Bruyne finished on unbeaten 45 with 7 boundaries. Bavuma was not out on 14 with 1 boundary, but the job is not even half done right now. 139 for 5, a big target is in front of the South Africans. They still require 351 runs on the morrow with 5 wickets remaining. That is, we are talking about the 4 days play in the second test match. And as far as the bowling figures was concerned, from the Lankan spinners, Rangana headed 15 overs, 1 maiden, 54 runs and 2 wickets, bowled superbly. Dilruwan Pereira 16 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 38. Akila Dhananjaya 10 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 35. So that is the match situation as far as South Africa were concerned. But as I said, South Africa would be happy with this effort, even though they won't win this match. But the good thing is that they have gone to their highest score in this series, but the previous highest being 124. So 139 for 5 still looks good, as they still can score a lot of runs. But 351 runs, a very tough task. Dinesh De Bruyne and Temba Bavuma was looking good at the crease on 14, but one can safely say that tomorrow it would be South Africa's game. Sorry, it would be Sri Lanka's game. Sri Lanka would have in fact won the series, according to me. Well, from here we head towards the final ODI between Pakistan and Zimbabwe. And as far as this particular match was concerned, it was all about Fakhar Zaman, because Fakhar Zaman needed only 20 runs to actually go past 5 other players who had got. There were 5 other players who actually held the record for quite a long time. As I mentioned, it is former West Indian great player, the living legend Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards, who was the first to get to the 1,000 runs in 21 innings. After that, it was followed in 21 innings by all the other 4 batsmen like Kevin Peterson of England, Jonathan Trott of England, Babar Azam of Pakistan, and Quinton de Kock of South Africa. But today, Fakhar Zaman put all the 5 players into the shade as he went on to crack 85 runs of 83 deliveries with 10 fours and 1 6, and in the process became the fastest player to 1,000 runs in ODI cricket in one-day internationals, breaking all the previous records, and as he did it in just 18 innings. What a player, Fakhar Zaman. He has been in some pink form, and I'm told in this particular series against Zimbabwe, he has got 515 runs, and that is a big record, as he was very rightly named man of the series. Imamul Haq, again, it was the same old thing. It was a flat pitch in Bulawayo. Runs were cascading from the blade of the batsman. And Imamul Haq, once again, his 3rd consecutive century, as Imamul Haq went on to make 110 of 105 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. And Imamul Haq today was the aggressor. Today, Fakhar Zaman decided to take the back seat in that opening partnership that happened, which was 168 runs to the good. At the halfway stage in 25 overs, and Imamul Haq was the one who had taken the front seat today, and Fakhar Zaman had gone to the balcony, I would say, because in a sense he had taken the back seat. But nevertheless, Imamul Haq played some very good strokes to make 110 of 158 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. Fakhar Zaman 85, as I said. But the good news was that Babar Azam, after making his comeback into the Pakistan team, finally came good. What a classic player Babar Azam is. The way he played, he nicely, I would say, planned his innings in a wonderful manner. As initially his 50 came probably, it took 57 balls. But if you look at his score, he went on to his century. And you know, Babar Azam is someone who has been very prolific in ODI cricket, like Fakhar Zaman before, and as you know, he made it in 21 innings, but that record was broken today. And Babar Azam got to his century, 106 unbeaten runs of 76 deliveries, which included 9 fours and 2 sixes, as he made 106. And after Babar Azam would be very happy with this effort, especially coming back after that injury that he had. He played a great role. Shoaib Malik was out for 18 of 15, two boundaries, and that Asif Ali was given a bit of a tough time by Chris Pofu, I thought, because Chris Pofu, what he did, started bowling wide Yorkers at him, and then Asif Ali had to adjust to the thing, and in the process, Pofu picked up his wicket. but not before two sixes were clattered into the crowd there by Asif Ali. 18 of 16 deliveries with two sixes. Sarfaraz Ahmed was not out on 6, took the back seat when Babar Azam opened up after getting to his 50 and raced to his 100 in pretty good time. In fact, I would say probably took 19 deliveries to race to his century there. It was wonderful stuff from Babar Azam. And Babar Azam is someone who makes batting look very easy. He's very easy on the eye. He's a great eye player, and the way he plays, as I said, it is not any slam bang stuff. It's not about classism in cricket, and there was not much power. It was pure timing with which he was dispatching the balls to the fence. Sarfaraz Ahmed not 364 for 4. Pakistan raised on the board, which was a huge total. And one has to say that Blessing Muzrabani was not there today, but Chris Pofu had come back with all his experience. 10 overs 1 for 67. Tendai Chatara 10 overs 1 for 79. Tripano 7 overs 1 for 67. Liam Rose, the tall right arm off spinner, 10 overs 1 made him 1 for 65. Bowled well, I thought. Matsakadza 10 overs 1 for 66. Masavudi 3 overs no more than none for 19. Zimbabwe were given a target of 264. They definitely, there was no sort of an intention to go, because they know for a fact that it was a big task for them, and all that they could do, I would say, Zimbabwe, they took good batting practice out here with Masakadza and the Kamun Kamwe putting on 66 for the first wicket in 14 overs. Masakadza making 34 of 46 deliveries, 3 fours, 2 sixes. Kamun Kamwe making 34 of 41 deliveries, 3 fours and 2 sixes. There were a lot of sixes being hit by the Zimbabwean players today. Masavure made 39 of 53 deliveries with 2 fours. Ryan Murray, I mean, everybody, I thought the Zimbabwean innings, if you look, this was the best play in this particular ODI series against Pakistan. They've been struggling for quite a long time, the second string side. But Ryan Murray, I thought he did a good job as well. He made 47 of 81 deliveries, 2 fours and 2 sixes. Peter Moore was not out on 44 of 65 deliveries, 2 fours, 2 sixes. Chigumbra chipped in with an unbeaten 25 of 37, 1 4, 1 6, 233 for 4. Game over, and a big victory for the Pakistanis by 131 runs, and also it resulted in Pakistan clean sweeping Zimbabwe in the ODI series 5-0. As far as the bowling was concerned, Mohammad Amir, 8 overs 2 minutes, none for 19, did a good job. Junaid Khan, 7 overs, none for 35. Hassan Ali, 9 overs, 2 for 55. Mohammad Nawaz Mafi, 10 overs, no more than 247. Shadab Khan, 10 overs, none for 42. Shadab Malik, 4 overs, none for 19. And Sarfaraz Ahmed, 2 overs, none for 15. Babar Azam got the man of the match, and Fakhar Zaman was the player of the series. And what a player Fakhar Zaman is turning out to be. Yes, probably one would be thinking that we are talking just because it's second string Zimbabwe. Let me tell you one thing, that as you would remember, Fakhar Zaman made waves in the World Cup, and then against India in the final, he was solely responsible when in the finals India and Pakistan played. It was Pakistan who lifted the World Cup, as you would remember, and it was a sort of a great play by this young bloke Fakhar Zaman, and he's really is someone, a player who's going to have a great future as far as Pakistan cricket is concerned. Now I'm going to take you live to the Providence Stadium in Guyana, where Bangladesh are taking on the West Indies. And the news is that Bangladesh won the toss and elected to bat in this first one-day international of the series. And right now, as I said, it's a rear guard action going on, but Bangladesh are doing well. They're really building it up. But what is more important now for Bangladesh is to go on to a probably in excess of 300. Now that is going to be the challenge. They still have Mushfiqur Rahim to come, Mahmudullah to come. So they too can really push the score along, and I'm sure Tamim Iqbal and Shakib Al Hasan, who are well settled now at the crease, will be seeing the ball like a real football. Shakib Al Hasan is not out on 84 with 102 balls with 6 fours. Tamim Iqbal is not out on 82 of 124 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. And Bangladesh definitely has to score in excess of 300 if they have to challenge the West Indies today. Well, dear fans and subscribers, that really puts a wrap on this daily cricket show of mine today. I hope you all enjoyed this cricket broadcast of mine, with my next cricket broadcast coming tomorrow. That's on a Monday. It's goodbye on a Sunday. Thank you.